That way, you have your meal plan, you have your grocery list, you know how much you're budgeting for, and you can go get those exact items that you need for those meals for that week. It's 2025 and you are ready to go plant-based for your health and wellness in this year and beyond. However, we are in a crisis where we can't afford food. There's a bunch of food shortages. Foods that you would usually pay a couple of dollars for are like $5 more than you would usually pay at any market you go to. We're experiencing a severe egg shortage for those of you who still want to eat eggs because of the bird flu. And unfortunately, a lot of animals are going to be susceptible to these diseases and cause even more of a food shortage. Sometimes we have contamination with our vegetables, with salmonella and listeria and all these other diseases that create more of a bottleneck when it comes to getting healthy, especially trying to do it the right way, and the way that's going to provide long-term health. Right now, as you go to the market, you're going to find that there's going to feel like there's some scarcity of food. And that is so. But have you ever heard the saying, you can't always get what you want, but you can get what you need? Well, today we're going to discuss how to go plant-based on a budget. And that's really focusing on getting what you need, the quality foods you need to be able to have a sustainable, healthy diet long term. Going plant-based on a budget is not just going to the grocery store. It's about wrapping your mind around the fact that I'm not substituting for meat. I'm actually adopting a new lifestyle and adopting a new diet. I'm actually learning to eat different types of food that's going to edify my body and actually make me healthy. So once you change your mindset from I'm not trying to switch this food out for a meat, you'll be able to find different things in the stores that's actually going to be best for your plant-based diet and make this plant-based journey more enjoyable in the long term. Right now, I want you to wrap your mind around the fact that I'm going plant-based for my health. So what foods do I need to buy in order to go plant-based to have better health, right? When you go to the grocery store, you want to spend 90% of your time in the fruit and produce aisle or section. A lot of times when we go to the store, we like to go and roam through all the aisles in the store, go to the packaged foods aisles, go to the prepared food aisle, and if you're buying meat, you're going to the prepared food meats and this other type of stuff. But plant-based is eating predominantly plant foods, and going plant-based for your health is really focusing on the produce section with your fruits, your vegetables, your grains, your nuts, and your seeds, okay? So all those things are really affordable, more affordable than what you're usually paying right now for. Maybe you're thinking about trying to substitute a meat kind of alternative for your regular meats. If you focus on eating your fruits, vegetables, nuts, grains, and seeds on your plant-based diet, I guarantee that your grocery bill is going to be very affordable. Let's go into a little bit more detail about how to go plant-based on this budget. Before you even start, number one, map out your location. Think about how many different stores you can frequent and go to see where you can get what you need at a discounted price. Of course, I know it's extra work to drive from one store to the next, but if you plan out your weekend or plan out your weekday, whichever day you're off or whichever day you do your grocery shopping, and plan that day out and say, I'm going to spend an hour and a half or so going to shop for the week, and I'm going to plan out my grocery shopping based on which stores I can get the most bang for my buck. That's one way to go plant-based on a budget. For instance, plant-based on a budget can easily be satisfied by finding a local Indian market around you. Indian markets are loaded with plant-based grains and beans and pulses, right? At the Indian market, you can get a large 20 pound of rice. A lot of times you can find an organic bag of brown rice. You can find your different types of beans. You can find your different spices because their diet is mostly vegetarian, right? So finding an Indian market in your location will help you buy big, giant bulk of rice and beans, and you can save money that way, because if you buy a big 20-pound bag of rice, that can last you about a month or even longer. If you have a family, it may last you a couple of weeks, maybe 3 or 4 weeks, but that's 3 or 4 weeks without you having to go and buy rice for maybe like a 1-pound bag for more money than you feel like spending that day, right? You want to go around and look for bargains. If you have a Trader Joe's around you, you want to see what is the best produce to purchase at a Trader Joe's. What is the best grain or nuts or seeds or whatever is in my diet to purchase at this Trader Joe's, or to purchase at a Sprouts, or to purchase at a Kroger or at a Ralph's, right? You want to see what stores are in my location. Let's say you don't have any of these stores that I named in your location, and you think that you live in a dilapidated location that does not cater to plant-based, right? There's always some type of plant-based option available. There's always a produce aisle in the produce section in any grocery store you go to. So if you spend time at the produce aisle, I guarantee that you'll be able to get your food for the week, your vegetables for the week, your fruits for the week, your nuts and your grains, okay? So tip number 1, scout your location and find what stores are in your area that you can get discounts, that have sales, that you can get food in bulk. Now, sometimes you don't know that you can communicate with the store manager and tell them, listen, I want to buy, say, 50 plantains, or I want to buy a box of plantains or a box of bananas. Usually, if you communicate with the store manager, you can get these large boxed fruits and these large boxed vegetables at a discount, right? I wouldn't suggest getting vegetables because they go bad fast, but maybe root vegetables like sweet potatoes. Things like that will last a little bit longer. Maybe carrots can last a little bit longer. You can definitely get bananas. You can definitely get some fruits. You can get some potatoes at bulk when you communicate with the store manager. Okay, another way to go plant-based on a budget is having a meal plan based on the store you're going to go to. Now, what I mean by this is, say if you're going to shop at Trader Joe's, plan your meals for the week based on going grocery shopping at that store. As long as you stay focused and on task and on your list, you will be able to do that on a budget every single week. You know, if it's a pizza week and you need the ingredients from Sprouts or whatever, and you're making pizza that week or pizza that day, see what other meals you can plan around that grocery store in order to make it easier to get the stuff you need and get it at a budget. Another way to go plant-based on a budget is to, I won't say go to farmers markets heavy, but you can do farmers markets in your area, and you can negotiate with them. Say if you come to the farmers market and it's about to close, they're willing to discount their produce for you because they want to get rid of it. You know, they come from the farm and they want to be able to just get rid of all that produce. They don't want to drive back to where they came from with a bunch of produce. So they're willing to give you that at a discount. But the easiest ways to do it on a budget is to scout the stores around you, buy in bulk, and plan your meals around the stores you're going to go to. A healthy way to go plant-based on a budget is to stick to what people call the poor man's food, rice and beans, okay? You cannot fail with rice and beans, and I dislike that they call rice and beans the poor man's food, because on a plant-based diet, especially when it's healthy, rice and beans are going to be your staples. And rice and beans are so versatile. You can do so much with all the different types of beans and all the different types of rice. I mean, you have pinto beans, garbanzo beans, red beans, black lentils, green lentils, yellow lentils, split peas. I mean, the list goes on. There's so many different types of beans, mung beans, right? You can do make so many dishes out of these beans that are not that expensive. Even if you get them organic, they're not that expensive. And then there's different types of rice. There's black rice, there's wild rice, there's red rice, there's basmati rice, there's brown rice, there's jasmine rice, there's all these other named rice that I don't remember at the moment, but there's many different ways to mix it up, right? And eat rice and beans. And when people say, oh my God, you're eating rice and beans again, Think about what they eat on their standard diet. They eat their standard meats, the same meats that they usually eat every week. Maybe they'll have it fried. Maybe they'll have it grilled. Maybe they'll have it on a sandwich, right? Treat your plant-based diet that way. Maybe you'll have it sauteed. Maybe you'll have it steamed. Maybe you'll have it in a curry. Maybe you'll have it in a sandwich. Same idea, just different types of food. Now, one thing that I noticed that people do is buy a lot of canned beans. And canned beans are very convenient, but they can run up in price. You know, $1.99, $2.99. You may use about 3 or 4 cans to make a big bowl of bean soup. It's easier to buy your beans dry. That way you have your meal plan, you have your grocery list, you know how much you're budgeting for, and you can go get those exact items that you need for those meals for that week. If you buy your beans dry, you can soak this little bag of beans can feed your family for about 3 or 4 days, okay? You can soak this bag of beans for overnight, and the beans are going to expand, and then you can cook this, turn this into a curry. You can make snacks out of the chickpeas. You can make burgers out of chickpeas. The list goes on and on about with what you can do with dry beans, especially chickpeas and black beans and lentils. So it's best to buy your beans dry because you can have more bang for your buck with buying the beans dry because there's more volume once you soak it and you cook it, right? Like I said, you can still stick with the canned beans. That's convenient. But buying them in bulk and buying them dry saves you a lot more money in the long term. Just remember, when you're going plant-based on a budget, change your mindset. You're not alternating the meats. Now, I didn't talk too much about the faux meats like Beyond Meat and Impossible Burger and Tofurkey and all these other things because we're discussing plant-based on a budget. If you're willing to splurge, sure, every now and then you can add the Beyond Meat and add all these faux meats and things like that to add a little bit of something to your meal, you know. Give you a little bit of reminder of meats and stuff like that. But you can also accomplish that with mushrooms. So learning how to cook with mushrooms, learning how to make fried chicken with mushrooms, learning how to make fried steak with mushrooms is all in the seasoning. That's the kicker. It's all in the seasoning. But learning how to do these things and doing it in a healthy way on the budget is going to save you money long term and save your health long term. And that's what we're optimizing for, right? We're optimizing for a healthy body, a healthy mind, healthy spirit, holistic health long term. So change your mindset from trying to replace a meat to remembering that you're going plant-based for your health and wellness in 2025 and beyond. Buy your food in bulk. Scour your area to know which grocery stores you can shop at to get discounts for certain foods. You know, if you can get better deals for apples here versus here, you know, you go here to get your apples over there. You go over here to get your pears, and that's okay. That's all in your planned out shopping day, okay, for your budget. Have a meal plan centered around the grocery store you're going to shop at for that week. And also buy your food, like your beans and things like that, buy them dried because you'll get more for it. After you've bought your food on a budget, then you can splurge a little bit on your Beyond Meats and things like that. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I'm glad you came back for another one. The one before this was talking about going plant-based in 2025. Be sure to check that out. Be sure to check the description box for more help and resources. Make sure you click like if you like this video and share it with your friends. And thank you for joining me. Until the next time, peace, love, and many blessings. Oh, and if I missed something, make sure you add it in the comments, okay? If you have a tip for everybody in the community of how to go plant-based on a budget, be sure to comment that down there below so we can all know what to do, okay? Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.